Love yourself a lot. She's already telling you she wants you. You're just not listening yet. One, the hidden language nobody teaches you. Let's be real for a second. Nobody ever sat you down and said, hey, here's exactly how to read what a woman actually wants. And not your dad, not your teachers, nobody. And because of that gap, millions of men walk around every single day completely blind to signals that are happening right in front of their faces. Women aren't complicated creatures. They're actually incredibly expressive, but they communicate desire in a completely different language than men do. Men tend to be direct, women tend to be subtle, layered, and nuanced. And if you haven't been trained to notice those layers, you're gonna miss them every single time. The good news, this is a learnable skill, just like you learn to read words on a page. You can learn to read body language, tone, energy shifts, and behavioral patterns. This video isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about finally understanding the signals that have always been there so you can show up more confidently, more connected, and more ever in your relationships. Pay close attention here because once you see these signs, you genuinely can't unsee them too. She finds excuses to touch you, and it's not accidental. Here's something most men completely overthink or dismiss entirely. Physical touch. When a woman is sexually interested in someone, her body naturally wants to close the physical distance. She is not consciously planning it out like a strategy. It's instinctive, so pay attention when she lightly touches your arm while laughing at something you said. Notice when she accidentally brushes her hand against yours and doesn't pull away. Watch for the moments when she fixes your collar, adjusts something on your jacket, or reaches over to wipe something off your face. These are random acts of friendliness. These are her nervous system reaching toward you. In psychology, we call this proximity seeking behavior, and it's one of the clearest biological indicators of attraction. Now, here's what makes it tricky. She might not even fully realize she is doing it. It can be completely subconscious, but that's exactly why it's so powerful and honest. It's not rehearsed. It's not performed. Her body is giving you information that her words might not be ready to say yet. So the next time the woman finds reasons to touch you or stays close to you in a crowd, don't brush it off as nothing. That nothing might be everything. If any of these signs just made you think of someone, hit that like button right now and subscribe because of what's coming next is even more powerful. 3. She locks her eyes with you longer than necessary. Eye contact is one of the most underrated forms of communication on the planet, and when it comes to attraction, it tells you almost everything you need to know. Here's the thing about eye contact. There's a massive difference between polite eye contact and charged eye contact. Polite eye contact is what you give a cashier or a coworker. It lasts about 1 to 2 seconds, it's neutral, and then it breaks naturally. But when a woman is interested in you sexually, the eye contact changes in a very specific way. It lingers as she holds your gaze a bit longer than she needs to. And then this is the key part. She looks away slowly, often downward, and then looks back again. That pattern, hold, look away, look back, is one of the most consistent signals of attraction across cultures and research studies. There's also something called soft eyes when her pupils dilate slightly and her gaze feels warm, open, and inviting rather than flat and professional. You'll feel the difference even if you can't explain it. Your nervous system picks up on these micro signals even when your brain hasn't caught up yet. If you've ever felt like a woman was looking at you differently but couldn't quite put your finger on why, this is exactly what was happening. Trust that feeling. 4. Her voice changes when she's around you. This one is subtle, but once you know it, it becomes incredibly obvious. When a woman is attracted to someone, especially sexually attracted, her voice actually changes, not dramatically, but in ways that are very real and well documented in psychology. She might speak a little softer, a little slower. There's a warmth that enters her tone that wasn't there before. She might laugh more easily at things you say, not fake laughter but genuine, relaxed laughter that signals she feels safe and happy around you. Sometimes her voice gets slightly lower, buskier, and in certain moments, especially when she's leaning in or saying something more personal, her voice drops to almost a whisper. That's intimacy. That's her body creating a private bubble between just the two of you. Pay attention also to how she says your name. When someone is attracted to you, they tend to say your name more often in conversation. It's a subtle way of pulling you in, of making the interaction feel more personal and direct. Contrast this with how she talks to other people in the same room. If there's a noticeable warmth and softness, specifically when she is speaking to you, and then she shifts to a more neutral tone with everyone else, that contrast is your answer. She's not performing, she's responding. 5. She mirrors your body language without realizing it. Mirroring is one of the most fascinating and reliable signs of deep interest, and it works completely below the level of conscious awareness. Here's what happens when we feel strongly connected to someone. Our brains begin to sync with theirs, and that sync shows up physically. If you lean forward, she leans forward. If you cross your legs, she crosses hers. If you slow your speech down, she slows hers down too. If you pick up your drink, she picks up hers with moments. This isn't coincidence. This is called limbic resonance, and it's your nervous systems literally speaking to each other. It happens between mothers and babies, between close friends, and especially between people who are romantically and sexually attracted to each other. The reason the sign is so powerful is that it's basically impossible able to fake convincingly. You can't just decide to mirror someone authentically. It only happens when you're genuinely engaged and pulled in. So if you wanna test for attraction, try this. Make a subtle physical movement, adjust your posture, tilt your head, shift your position slightly, and then watch to see if she does the same within the next 30 seconds to a minute. If she mirrors you back, her body is telling you that her mind and heart are already very focused on you. Which of these signs have you been ignoring? Drop her number in the comments. 1 through 9. 6. She asks questions that have nothing to do with smart talk. There's a very distinct difference between someone being polite and someone being genuinely curious about you. And when a woman is sexually and emotionally interested, her questions change completely. Smart talk sounds like, "Oh, what do you do for work?" Real interest sounds like, "What makes you choose that? Do you actually love it? What would you do if you could do anything?" See the difference? One is surface, the other is digging. When she asks about your childhood, your dreams, what makes you angry, what you're afraid of, what you want your life to look like, she's not just being friendly, she's building a map of who you are because she wants to know the real you. She's investing emotional energy into understanding your inner world. And in psychology, emotional intimacy and sexual desire are deeply connected, especially for women. For most women, emotional connection and physical attraction aren't separate things. They feel each other. The more emotionally seen and understood she feels, and the more she understands you, the more attraction builds. So when a woman seems almost hungry to know you better, when her questions get personal and she genuinely listens and remembers what you said, take that seriously. She's not just making conversation, she is getting closer to you on purpose. 7. She puts effort into how she looks around you specifically. This one seems obvious, but most men miss the nuance. Yes, women dress up and take care of their appearance in general, but there's a very specific kind of effort that happens when a woman wants to be seen and desired by one particular person. Pay attention to whether she dresses differently when she knows that she is gonna see you compared to when she doesn't. Does her makeup become a little more deliberate? Does she wear something that fits better, looks more intentional, feels a little more put together? Does she play with her hair more when you're talking, flipping it, tucking it, smoothing it, which is a classic self-grooming behavior triggered by attraction? Does she stand a little taller, hold herself a little differently when you enter the room? These are all signs that she is aware of herself. Through your eyes, she is imagining how she looks to you specifically, and she wants that image to be attractive. There's also something really telling about how she responds to your compliments. If you say something kind about how she looks and she lights up, not in a vain way, but in a genuinely pleased, almost relieved way, that's because your opinion matters to her more than others. The opinion of someone you're attracted to carries a more emotional weight. That reaction tells you exactly where you stand. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe. 8. She creates situations to be alone with you. This is one of the most direct signals on this entire list, and yet men still rationalize it away constantly. When a woman wants more time alone with you, she finds ways to make that happen. It might look like suggesting you both step outside at the party to get some air. It might look like offering to help you with something at your place. It might look like staying a little later than everyone else, or arriving a little earlier, or finding a reason to take the same route home. She might text you something that requires a response and creates a private one-on-one thread outside of group chats. She might reference an inside joke, a shared memory, something that only the two of you know, pulling you into a private world that exists just between you. All of these behaviors are intentional, even when they look casual. Women are extraordinarily good at engineering closeness without making it look engineered. The reason they do this is simple. They want to see what happens when the social pressure of a group disappears. They want to see the real you, and they want you to see the real them. A long time is the testing ground for deeper connection. So if you notice a pattern where you somehow keep ending up a one-on-one with the same person, stop calling it coincidence. That's intention. That's desire. 9. The biggest sign you're probably ignoring right now. Here's the truth that nobody says out loud. The biggest sign that a woman is sexually interested in you is the one you feel but keep talking yourself out of. You know that feeling when you're talking to someone and something just feels electric, when you notice that she never seems to run out of a thing to say to you, when she remembers small details from conversations weeks ago, when she finds reasons to bring your name up to mutual friends, when she responds to your messages faster than she responds to others, when she gets a little quiet and soft, when it's just the two of you. All of that together is the sign. It's not one signal thing, it's a pattern, it's a consistent, persistent leaning toward you that shows up across multiple contexts, across multiple weeks. And here's the psychological truth: when someone is interested in you, everything they do is sadly shaped by that interest. Their attention, their energy, their time, it all bends in your direction. Most men miss this not because the signs aren't there, but because they're afraid to believe them. Fear of rejection makes us a second guess of what we know. So this is your reminder. Trust the pattern, trust what you feel, and for the love of everything, stop waiting for a woman to basically write it on a billboard before you believe she is interested. These signs have been there all along. Thanks for watching all the way through. Now send this to your lover or your partner. The next video is made just for you. Take care.